All right, today we're going to do something a little different. We're going on a numerical treasure hunt through Los Angeles. We're going to uncover a kind of secret map of the city, one that's told not in streets, but in just a few simple numbers. And, what better guide for this journey than the most iconic landmark of them all, the Hollywood sign.
So let's start with a basic question. When you think of LA, you probably picture this huge, flat basin just sprawling out to the ocean, right? But is that really the whole story? That's the question we're going to dig into, and believe me, the truth is hidden in the city's vertical secrets. So let's start digging into the numbers.
To get to the bottom of this, we have to start right there on the ground floor. We're going to look at the numbers that define the city's topography, and we're going to start with the smallest and work our way up, one pretty surprising number at a time.
Okay, our first number is just 7 feet. That's it. This tiny number is the entire elevation difference between the historic farmers market and a spot on Wilshire Boulevard that's nearly a mile away. It is an almost imperceptible slope, which kind of confirms what we all assume: the heart of LA is just incredibly flat. But is that just a coincidence?
Well, no. This flatness is definitely not an accident. It's geology at work. Over millions of years, streams running out of the Santa Monica Mountains just deposited sand and silt, creating what's called an alluvial fan. You can think of it like nature's self-leveling concrete, just slowly paving over the basin and creating that signature flatness.
So, we've established the flat foundation. But here's the thing, LA isn't a single-story building. It's time for us to make our first real climb. And in doing so, we're going to reveal a hidden level of the city that most people drive right through without even noticing.
Our next number is a much bigger jump, 193 feet. That's the vertical climb you make going from that Wilshire corridor up to the intersection of Sunset and Vine. Now, this isn't just some gentle slope. It's a significant climb that puts you on a completely different tier of the city.
And this upper deck, it actually has a name, the Piedmont. It literally means foot of the mountain. It's this transitional shelf where the steep mountain slopes start to level out. Let's put it this way. While Wilshire Boulevard is on the orchestra level of the city, Sunset Boulevard is way up on the mezzanine, and you know what that means, a much better view of the stage.
And speaking of a better view, it is time for the main event. We're going to climb all the way from that basin floor to our landmark, the Hollywood sign. And we're going to see how these hidden tiers totally change our perspective of the city's most famous symbol. And here is our next huge leap in scale, 1,400 feet. That is the staggering vertical distance from the flat basin floor where the farmers market sits all the way up to the base of the Hollywood sign. It's not just a landmark, it's like a topographic monarch, looming a quarter of a mile vertically over the city below.
Now, I know this table might just look like a bunch of numbers, but it holds the secret to the view. Forget distance for a second and just focus on that last column, the inclination angle. Put simply, that's how much you have to crane your neck to see the sign. And that angle, well, that angle changes everything.
And this chart just illustrates the point perfectly. From Sunset and Vine, you have to look up at an angle of over 5 degrees. That is steep enough to clear most buildings in front of you. But from the basin floor, the angle is way shallower, just 2 or 3 degrees. And at that angle, even a single mid-rise building can completely block your view. It turns out that 200-foot mezzanine makes all the difference in the world.
So far, our journey has taken us from 7 feet to 1,400 feet. But all these numbers, the slope of the basin, the height of the Piedmont, the climb to the sign, they're just resting on the surface. The biggest number, the one that defines the true scale of Los Angeles, is actually hidden deep underground.
That's right. To find the final piece of our puzzle, we can't look up at the Hollywood sign. We have to look down, deep beneath our feet, to really understand the massive geological structure we're all standing on.
30,000 feet. Just let that sink in for a second. That is the depth of the sediment, all the sand, silt, and gravel that fills the Los Angeles basin. The flatness we experience is just the very top layer of a geological bowl that's more than 5 miles deep. The Santa Monica Mountains aren't just hills on a plain, they are the rim of this immense, filled-in valley.
Okay, so we've uncovered this hidden map of Los Angeles through its numbers. 7 feet, 200 feet, 1,400 feet, and 30,000 feet. But why does any of this matter? Well, because this invisible map has very real consequences, affecting everything from property values to your cell phone signal.
Just look at this comparison. From down on the basin floor, that shallow viewing angle means your expensive view is fragile, easily blocked. For telecommunications, it means signals to towers on the mountains are way more likely to be obstructed. You're also looking through miles of the densest, haziest air.
But from the Piedmont, that steeper angle gives you a dominant view, a much clearer line of sight for your phone, and a perspective above the worst of the smog. You see the difference?
You know, this quote from the original analysis really just hits the nail on the head. A good view in LA isn't about luck, it's about geometry. Your position on this hidden vertical map determines whether your view is commanding and permanent or fragile and totally at the mercy of the next construction project. So there you have it, our entire journey in just 4 numbers. We started with the tiny 7-foot slope of the Alluvia fan. We climbed the 200-foot jump to the Piedmont mezzanine. We scaled the 1,400-foot vertical challenge up to the Hollywood sign. And finally, we plunged 30,000 feet to understand the true foundation of the city. Each number just unlocked a whole new layer of LA's hidden geography.
And this really leaves us with a final thought. We've used numbers to decode the landscape of Los Angeles, revealing all these invisible forces that shape it. So the next time you look at your own city, don't just see the buildings and the streets. Ask yourself, what are the hidden numbers that define my world? What are the secret elevations and depths shaping the ground right under my feet?